Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and geek culture. I'm Michael. We have the wonderful, the lovely Phoenix Sparks, and the original, the Buster, the breaking down all around town of New Jersey. We have Dayveonne Bussey, and of course, the original, the Brack Breaker, Eric the Smoke Moran. So you're watching GEEKCASTER. So we were just talking about DC and comics. You got to watch the DC animations. Just a quick update, because this is part 2, but you could watch the rest. But the smoke, first of all, where'd the smoke come from?
Well, the smoke, like I said, I started as a pro wrestler. Mm-hmm. Ooh, we're talking way back when, and we're talking about the late 90s, early 2000s. The smoke, basically, the concept was because of my strong resemblance to The Rock. I was on Jenny Jones for hot celebrity lookalikes. Like, people would come over to me and
hold on, you notice how he threw that in there. He said hot celebrity lookalike, not celebrity lookalike. Yeah. I caught that.
No, hot celebrity. I caught what you did. I swear to God, look it up on Google. Yeah. Title, hot celebrity lookalikes. This is with the year they had Beyonce's lookalike. They had Christina Aguilera's lookalike. They had Adam Sandler's lookalike. They had Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan's lookalike. They had Michael Jackson lookalike. They had yours truly. And it was the highest rated episode for that season. So good, and I made such an impact on it, they brought me back the following season for Secret Crush. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, I got it, because people would bump into me and they're like, yo, I remember you from, and that, from Jenny Jones. I'm like, damn, okay, wow. but the thing was that what happened was, since the popularity of The Rock, and because I was known as the Prophet, Sergeant Prophet, that was like my Marine Corps character. Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, we're gonna introduce you in something new. You got to look for it and everything. If you weren't gonna do it, someone else would have. Because I talked like them and my mannerisms, how I carried myself. When they introduced me, this is after the Rock won his Intercontinental Champion. They said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I introduce to you the WWF's Intercontinental Champion's cousin, The Smoke. And then they started playing the Rock's music. I came out and I'm like, finally, The Smoke has come back to blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
And I'm doing the designer shirts, the glasses, the cyber. People lost their ever-loving minds. Wow. And I'm going to tell you right now, never have I gotten invited to do appearances, movies, the whole night. So, and this is pre-internet. This is like right before the early stages of MySpace started. So I was on cloud 9 and all. And, it was surreal because it was just, I was having the time of my life. But then the smoke, this kept on and stayed with me. And it was funny when Dwayne got interviewed for The Rundown. I'll never forget this interview. He did for The Rundown. He's like, The Rock gets $1 million deals. You got people that look like The Rock, talk like The Rock. And he looks at the camera and is like, but they don't get the $1 million deals like The Rock. And I'm like, man. Oh, really? Oh, okay. No problem. So, that solidified who I was. And, they called me the anti-Rock and all. I remember meeting Kevin Nash, and they were like at one point trying to talk me into coming to WCW. And at that time, because I was still new to the game, I didn't think I was fully ready. But moments like that when I'm meeting people in the industry and all, and having the time of my life. But I got to give a shout out, even though he's no longer with us. New Jack, without a question, was the person that helped boost my career, and really put me on the map. And then also he giving me my start to open up on the ECW show with him and taking on him in the ring and all. So that was one of the most memorable moments, because you had some of the biggest names in wrestling at the ECW arena here in Philadelphia, and here we're opening the show. And so, like I said again, I've always been grateful to him and everything else. We have a good history. He's no longer with us, but like I said, he played a big part. And but yeah, like I said again, but I did appearances for Comic-Cons as The Smoke, but I was always an avid comic book fan. As a pro wrestler, I was an avid comic book fan, cosplay. I was cosplaying before it was even called cosplay. And we're talking about, again, 80s. One of my first cosplays.
Actually, that was going to be my next question. Did you, because was it like, okay, first of all, you have a military background. Which you were in the Marines, correct?
Yeah, Marine Corps. Yeah.
Marine Corps. So you went for. How come everyone in the Marines? Yep, the Marine Corps. All y'all gotta say it the same way.
Yeah, we gotta listen. Marine Corps is a fraternity in itself. We were prideful about. Look at our uniforms. Our uniforms speak for itself. We're first down on the ground, ready to pound anything that gets in our way. We are unstoppable. We got the Air Force. Air Force we call them the fly boys. They fly us in. The Navy to me is like our basically our what do we call it? Our limousine service. They transport us where we need to go. And Coast Guard, we don't talk about them too much. They're all right with us and all. But Marine Corps, we do it on Army. They do their thing. We're not going to knock them, but they know when it comes to dealing with some hardcore stuff, Marine Corps is where it's at.
Right.
And so I had to go for the best, and the best of us, the Marine Corps. At that time. So, like I said, we can't talk about it now, how the Marine Corps is now. But back then, we're talking about drone instructors like you saw in Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of that.
Wow.
Or even Jarhead. The best time to say what my time was in the Marine Corps, look at the movie Jarhead. It sums it up in a nutshell. Because a lot of that stuff that you see in that movie really happened. So, and yeah, like I said again, but yeah, my time in the Marine Corps played a big part. But as time went on, like I said again, I was bodyguarding entertainers and working clubs and all, and that's how I ended up becoming. I was bodyguarding New Jack from ECW. I was his bodyguard. I was going out to the shows as his bodyguard, and I ended up getting trained as a pro wrestler. And people, because of how much I look like The Rock, or should I say, The Rock looks like me because I'm older than Dwayne technically. Basically, technically. But people say that, and I'm like, wait. I'm older than Dwayne. I got him by 2 years. Even though he looks older than me, I'm older than him. And I can talk
shots fired.
So, no, not shots. It's just facts. It's fact. Even though he's got more money than God right now and everything else, I'm not knocking him. And God knows I want to be able to get in full shape like he is and all. But on the real, I think what Dwayne has been doing is phenomenal. And he gave me some really good advice about reinvention and reinventing yourself. So he gave me some really good advice. So, but what I found interesting, as I was doing appearances for Comic-Cons as The Smoke, I was always an avid pop culture comic book fan. And because I was a cosplayer or a costumer, we're talking about in the 80s. Like I said, my first cosplay was as Rico Tubbs from Miami Vice. And there's a picture of me and my buddy were dressed like Crockett and Tubbs. My senior prom, I went as one of the Blackhawks. Got this whole suit design, custom suit, tailor suit design in 89, all that stuff. So, and I would go to movies. People thought it was weird because I would go to movies when I was in the Marine Corps, when I was off duty, dressed like Dick Tracy to go to see the Dick Tracy movie or stuff like that. And so when I started going to Comic-Cons and doing appearances at Comic-Cons, I was like, hey, this is something. And then next thing you know, in 2003, I started really hitting it back hard. And before you know it, it just kind of took a life of its own. And I've cosplayed since. I've cosplayed well over, maybe over 10,000 different cosplay characters, from minor characters to big characters. I was host on Heroes of Cosplay. I've been on Comic Book Men. I've done film, movies. I've even done my own fan series and stuff where basically people like Carl Urban. I did a thing called based on the Dread movie. Carl Urban, he loved it. He was a big fan of what we were doing. I did Trek Isolation, which we were the only Star Trek fan series to have Stan Lee featured in. He's never done any other Star Trek franchise, but he did ours. I'm currently right now doing a series called A Planetary Step, which is based on the Orville. We are the first and original Orville fan series that got the blessings from Seth MacFarlane and the producers from the show, as well as the cast. They love what we're doing and stuff. And I have a great team that I'm working with right now. And I'm currently going to be in a movie later this year coming out called The Surge of Power, where there's smoke. And I'm the featured superhero independent film. It was based on the first gay superhero. He's got 2 other films that's out, or 3 other films that's out, Surge. And they're bringing me in. They're doing this whole universe thing. And so they have a lot of different people coming in on it. Tim Russ, Robert Picardo, Sam Jones, just to name a few. A lot of people we either grew up on. Nichelle Nichols is one of her last films because she was a part of the series. So yeah, that's going to be a major thing because we've been filming. I was going back and forth to LA at the time of my life, and I've done like TV shows, Dispatches from Elsewhere. Also, I was in 21 Bridges, Chadwick Boseman's last film. I was doing some background work on that. So when we talk about background work, so I love this the entertainment side of it. I'm hoping to do more voiceover work, some animated stuff, hopefully. And just like I said again, I've done a lot of different films, TV shows, and stuff like that, appearances and all. But I have the time of my life doing it. This is a passion of mine. It's always been a passion of mine. So,
are you an East Coaster?
Yeah, I'm based out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I'm considered one of the top cosplayers on the East Coast. They call it, like, some people like to finally call me the Godfather of cosplay. I'm like, okay, if you want to call me that, fine. Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I can own that. Yeah. And you know, but I love the fact that the rise of POC cosplayers. And it was funny because, like I said, there wasn't a lot of us out there, and so now to see a bed of different colors, shapes, sizes, ethnicities, gender, the whole nine, is like a sea of cosplayers. I love it. Put aside the drama that goes on with the cosplay, I just love cosplay.
I'm glad you kept it real. That threw that in there.
The only thing about cosplay, I tell people all the time, if you're going to be a cosplayer, have a thick skin. Stop worrying about what other people think. If you're going to cosplay for yourself, not for what other people do. And be genuine about it.
But you know what?
You know, don't be a cosplayer. Don't cosplay because you think it's going to build you clout or build you likes and all this. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a tradition, maybe old school. How can I say this? I like stuff organically. I don't care if I get 2,000 likes, 2 million likes. I don't care if I have one like. To me, I cosplay for me. I don't care what other people think. They're gonna have their opinions because I guarantee you, if they saw me in person, they would be keeping their opinions to themselves because they damn well wouldn't say it to my face. But that being said, I want to say I gotta cut you off there only because you said something that a couple of shows back, maybe about a year ago, someone said, and I really see it seems to be consistent. The people that are really into it organically and really love it for what it is, you don't hear them crying, you don't hear them worrying about, there's no drama. Those that are doing it for likes and the social media, they got crazy attitudes. Like I don't think you even remember when you met me. You know what? I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I meet so many people, and it's crazy because I'll have, hey, Smoke, what's going on? I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? Yeah. And I'm like this. I can't remember the name. But
you were so organic, so peaceful. I was doing photography that day. Boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh shit. You were like, oh, this is dope, and you gave me your card. Yeah. So, because a lot of people don't know who the real photographers are at Comic-Con versus I got a lot of money. I run around with cameras. So that was cool. We stayed, and I kept your card, stayed in, whatever like that. And I said, hey, come to the show. But again, I don't really talk to people. I kind of stay in the cocoon. I probably talk to Dayveonne more than anybody else.
But the funny thing is, bringing that up, I have a photographer that I work with, Serious Photo. He and I have been partners for well over a decade. I do a thing here in Philadelphia that my friends fondly call Smoke Con. Smoke Con is something that my wife and I, because my wife is a cosplayer too, we do it out of my house. I've been doing this out of my house for over a decade, where I bring all these different cosplayers together that may be trying to be up and coming. And we do, basically my photographer and a couple maybe other photographers that live locally will come over, do pictures absolutely for free.
Wow.
Just to help out other cosplayers.
That's
get
cool.
Their pictures out there and all. And like he said, as long as he can keep it for his portfolio, he's like, look, you can do whatever you want, just as long as you credit him. And we've been doing it for well over 10 years, and there's never been a hidden agenda. Like I said, we've had people like Night Mage and Sony and everybody, like basically it's been a slew of different cosplayers from all different backgrounds. I love just bringing different people that never would have thought they would have met each other before they become really big and all. And I love getting people like that together because it's good to see them doing well now. But again, I've been doing this for so long, and it's just something that I like giving back into the community. So,
well, we appreciate you because that generosity, you're genuine and stuff. And I mean, the long thing I was saying before, just to say that, like, I call people for a reason. And then some people really want that attention. Well, how come you haven't been calling me every day since then? You were like, hey, what's up? Cool. Hey, yeah, let's do the show. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that genuine.
It's weird because the one thing, I got to give this to my parents, and they're no longer here with me. They've always taught me to stay grounded, no matter where and how big I get. I mean, it's funny because those people that have been with me from day one, my ride or dies, as I call them, those are the people that I'm always, if I'm doing good, I believe in the concept of throwing the rope over the wall. So if say, for example, there's opportunity for photographers to get their shine on. And I've talked about this. I'm like, photographers need to have their own little thing because again, just like I've said again, cosplayers would not be cosplayers if it wasn't for the photographers. Mm-hmm. The photographers are just as much as superstars as the cosplayers. And they need to have something, an event that showcases photographers, the biggest names in photography, not jaded, mind you, just the biggest names of the photography that showcase some of the major people in cosplay and help those other photographers that are up and coming and have it can be done. It can be done. And these are like the things that go through my head. And again, I have all these little crazy ideas, but no, and it's important. It's important because everybody can get a piece of the action. Right. And whether you run with the ball, make money from it, whether you prosper from it where you can help other people, it's a whole idea of being able to network with everybody from cosplayers, costume designers. And that's the other thing about cosplay. And I got to jump in on this. I have to say this. I have to give a major shout out to all the collaborators that have collaborated with me throughout the years, prop makers and everything else. Because people think that when you cosplay, you got to do it all by yourself. BS. You don't. You can do it, and you can team up with the other people, prop makers and all. And it's great because you can look at projects and say, I collaborated with these people. I worked with these people. I've done this with this person. And yet you throw your own style in. But it's important to acknowledge those people that you work with, prop makers and everything. And I work with so many different prop makers that help put me on the map, besides with the photographers. Like I said, that's why I said it's an intricate thing. It's an intricate web of creation and creativity all comes into one, and everybody helping each other and working together. So that's important. That's really important.
I tried to do some research, and there's a project that you worked on that was like an urban, how they say it? They said it was like an urban Twilight Zone kind of thing.
Urban action?
No. So it was like a series that you worked on. Either you directed or produced it, and it was like a Twilight Zone kind of thing, but it took place in the inner city.
Oh, you're talking about Heavy Sedation.
What's it called?
Heavy Sedation.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so Heavy Sedation, my boy Shannon Newby. Shannon and I go way back. Shannon's based here in Philly. It was shot here on PBS here, and also on local network station for ABC. Okay, so Shannon, great filmmaker, incredible filmmaker. He did a series that was like the Twilight Zone, but based in urban Twilight Zone. Same actors, different situations. You have actors like Brian A. Wilson, who's played in everything from The Wire and everything. If you've seen him in movies and TV, you have all these great actors and actresses that are in this, and every episode is something different. But it takes place in urban cities. And it had a message to it. And I think we did like up to 3 seasons. And then Shannon right now, currently, he teaches film in Philadelphia at School of Performing Arts. So, but it's, again, such a great show. Heavy Sedation. If you haven't checked it out, you got to check that out.
Can we check it out?
Was that?
Can we check it out? How do we?
It should be like he has some of the episodes on YouTube right now. But if you go online, you should be able to find it. It should be able to tell you where you can buy it because I think he still sells it online, like the whole entire series. But yeah, we were on definitely on PBS and everything, and I know that at one point BET tried to look in our direction and all that. But yeah, we were the first of its kind. Before Jordan Peele did his thing, there was Shannon Newton. So Shannon, yeah, we were, and the message. Some of them were really funny episodes. Some of them had hidden messages. I mean, I had so much fun being a part of that series and stuff, and being one of the cast members. And it was all shot here in Philly. One of the episodes, without giving anything away, I was playing as this axe murderer, and and walking around like I was possessed, walking around with a machete. And we shot next to this coffee house which his sister owned. And now we couldn't do this now. We couldn't get away with it now. But I'm walking around with machete, blood. I'm walking around wearing all this stuff, and people called the cops. And the cops, we had it on film. The cops came and Shannon had to come out and tell them we're filming TV show and all. And they got pictures with us. But it was just funny because they were like, people saw me just walking around the neighborhood, and I'm supposed to be after the girl, the act, my fellow co-star, she's running away from me, and I'm walking like, and all this stuff. So, and this is during the daytime. That was the other crazy thing. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun. We had so much fun with that show.
That reminds me of 2019 when I wore the Scream outfit.
Oh goodness!
And they called the cops, and they was like, "Wait. He's here for the Halloween party. He was just being security."
Oh, wow. Well, they should know better. It's Halloween. They should have, right?
Well, with that new Scream movie coming out now, man, now more than ever, they'll probably call the cops on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So we have a little bit of time left. Let's make a transition on technology. So, Phoenix, you were saying there was a couple of things bubbling in tech news?
Yes, if you've been paying any attention at all, I'm sure you've noticed that there's finally been a slowdown. We've been used to getting all these things super fast. No more Sonic the Hedgehog. Tech companies are laying off tons of employees to try and avoid going bankrupt. So we're seeing a lot of people out of jobs, unfortunately. You can look at the stock market and stuff. Quarters have really slowed down for everyone. It's not just one field in particular. I thought that was really noteworthy because we've yet to see that since big tech became a thing, right? This is historic. So
that's true. And also, a lot of people, Phoenix, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't a lot of people move from San Francisco to Portland, and also Washington State
and Tahoe?
Oh, really?
Yeah, people were just, I think, trying to leave San Francisco just because it became so oversaturated and expensive and overly gentrified. I think it made it difficult for people to afford the living costs. So it's been interesting, to say the least. But they're also slashing work from home jobs too for a lot of companies. So I don't know. What do we think about that? 'Cause I thought work from home was maybe here to stay. Hopefully.
There's a lot of AI stuff that you can do. So like there's some companies, they thought they were slick. Well, because a lot of people have to use a pad or a mouse. So you have to, once that stops too long, you're not working. Well, there's actually tech that actually moves the mouse around every 5 minutes, so it pretends someone's actually working.
Yeah. Oh, the AI is getting very creepy. I saw like an Ariana Grande AI voice thing, and it was like impersonating her, but a different Evanescence song, and then there's deep fakes. I saw somebody do an experiment where they like had an AI pretend to be them on the screen, so in like a group setting to fool their boss, and it was supposed to be a joke, but a lot of people thought there was some brought up some plausible concerns. So
yeah, if I'm paying somebody X amount of dollars and they're on the beach and some robot is like, yeah, I'll send in those Ross reports. Oh, man.
Okay, where's the Ross reports?
Hmm?
No, and then it'd be like, where's the Ross reports? And
Oh,
it's like,
yeah. And you'd be like, what Ross reports? I was on the beach. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, man. Do you feel, Eric, from the creative standpoint, that AI is starting to become a hindrance instead of a help?
It's just like the internet. You have to be able to know. The way I look at it, like, for example, with the internet people, thought that, well, it's become helpful, but then it's been abused. The problem with AI, I think AI can be used in a lot of good ways, but it's somewhat starting to become, people are going to start abusing it, just like anything else that's new, that everyone enjoys. It's going to start getting, I just have this fear that it's going to be abused in a sense that people like you talked about, Phoenix, you talked about how they did the little AI deep fake thing. I have this thing on my phone where I just did like Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds, and I was wearing my hoodie and I was like, hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and I looked just like Ryan Reynolds. And it was funny because I said to a friend, they were like, how'd you know Ryan Reynolds? And I'm like, no, it's a deep fake thing. So it depending on how you use it and all, but a lot of people nowadays will want to use it for other means other than for fun or recreational.
Right.
So it's weird because we're getting to the age now where, what we see in movies and all is actually now starting to happen. I'm not saying Terminator, Skynet yet.
But you just did.
People, what's that?
But you just did.
But no, Skynet is not taking over yet. But I mean,
yeah.
Look, after seeing Megan and all, I'm
gosh.
I kind of just like, well, we're not too far. They already have robots like that. So I mean, it can still be managed because it's still in the early stages. If you have to put some restrictions maybe on it. It can be managed, but I don't. It's like the internet. Internet now, it's like, it's everywhere. So it's like, you can't get rid of the internet. It's like, a lot of people, they can't live without the internet. So it's a necessary evil. And I got a feeling that down the road, the AI is going to become a necessary evil. Right now, it's not there yet, but we're seeing the beginning stages of it. In our lifetime, we'll probably towards the end of our lifetime, we'll probably see it doing a lot more harm than it is for better. So we just got to keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully someone will come up with the technology to basically keep it in check. But again, like I said, look at the internet. Internet was supposed to be used as a tool. Now, we're using it for every part of our lives. So it's a double-edged sword.
But let's keep that right there. Everybody give the audience your social media so they can contact you or a website. And not 20 social medias, just one.
He said, not 20. Jeez. Okay. Check out me, The Smoke, on my Instagram, The Smoke 007. Or, better yet, Google Eric The Smoke Moran and all my stuff comes up.
Phoenix?
It does.
Good one.
You can also Google Phoenix Sparks _official on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch.
Dayveonne?
And Dayveonne Bussey on Instagram and Facebook, and you can Google me on, and everything else will come up. I am a public figure.
All right, I'm Michael7, Michael on IG. You're watching GEEKCASTER. Go to GeekCaster.com or at GeekCaster on IG. Thank you very much for watching. Again, Eric the Smoke Moran, you are the man. Thank you so much for participating. You are amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, keep supporting. You're watching GeekCaster.